You've seen the mugshot. You've read the headlines. But what really happened in Florida? Marcus finally breaks the silence.
Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, brother. I don't really, I felt like it was a thing that happened. You know what I mean? I don't really want to, like dwell on it.
Marcus Morris is now facing 2 criminal cases out of Las Vegas, and it's serious. The judge says he's being charged for writing what they call a bad check and stealing over $100,000. All of it tied to casino markers, gambling loans he didn't pay back. And now, if he stays in custody, Nevada plans to come get him. This isn't just a fine or a warning. They've got him in cuffs, and Vegas wants him back.
So Mr. Morris is charged with 2 separate cases, 2 separate warrants out of the state of Nevada. I have spoken to the officials in Nevada. They do intend to extradite him if he remains in custody. The warrants are for what they entitle as sort of a bad check, and then theft greater than $100,000. Apparently, the factual basis is gambling at a casino, taking out a marker for the $100,000 or more, I guess on 2 separate occasions.
Look, this next part hits hard because it's coming from someone who's lived through it. Kendrick Perkins knows exactly how this casino debt game works. He's not guessing. He's speaking from real experience. What he says here clears up a lot of confusion about Marcus Morris's charges and why Vegas went after him so aggressively. Listen closely to what Kendrick says. This isn't just legal talk. This is the truth from someone who's been on the inside.
Let me say this. As a guy that used to be a big time gambler at casinos, like 4 or 5 years ago, I actually had an addiction in gambling. I actually went up to the casino and signed myself that I would never gamble again. Not that they made me, I did it, right? Like I did it. I was a blackjack type of guy. And what happens with these markers, when you take a marker out from the casino, is basically you're getting a marker and you have 30 days to pay the marker back. If you don't pay the marker back, then it's labeled as quote unquote fraud or you writing a bad check. Because when you go and you take the line of credit, you know that basically what they're saying is you knew that you didn't have the funds. And they recently, over the last 10 years, that they could charge you criminally. Now, we'll say this. The casinos don't want to go that route with you unless they feel like you disrespected them. Disrespect meaning lack of communication, or you can call and say, you know what, hey, give me another 30 days and I'll pay the marker off, or give me 6 months and I'll pay the marker down until, or whatever. But if you ignore them, they have a problem with you. Because I saw yesterday when he was actually in court, they released it yesterday or 2 days ago, and his attorney walked up, and his attorney said the wire has been sent. The judge still denied him bond. Like, at that point, it was like, no. The money, send the money, cool, but we're trying to make an example, because for however amount of period, we tried to contact Mr. Morris. We wanted not for this to get this far. And so that it did got this far, no, you're going to sit down. And I mean, literally his lawyer was like, well, your attorney, your honor, you have this, you could grant him bond or whatever. And they was like, no, we're going to, because he's in Florida, and they're going to extradite him to Las Vegas. So at this point, they're just being assholes on purpose because they felt disrespected. Until the prosecution say, you know what, we'll dismiss this warrant. We got the money. We feel good now. We feel like he's learned his lesson type stuff, and now we'll dismiss this warrant. You don't even have to go to a hearing. Now he has a bond. But this is bigger than just the payment. And it's not fraud. So like people's like, oh, he committed fraud. It's not fraud. Like it was worded that way, but this is what happens when you have a casino debt.
This isn't just a court case. It's a moment that could change Marcus Morris's life forever. His name, his future, his family, all on the line over a mistake that got way too public.
You know what I mean? I'm mature, bro. Like I have values, I have morals, in the way I move and, in the way I, approach life, the way I wake up every morning. I wasn't, I didn't have my father in my life. I had figures that helped me navigate through times, but I never had my father, right? So I see how much it's important just being away from my kids a small amount of time by being an NBA player, right? Like you can just see different changes and you being there, you not being there. And, it's just something that, their father went through, man. But, I held my head high and it is what it is. I take it on the chin. And yeah, I'm going to tell my kids about this, just make sure that they never make these type of mistakes. Or, I think, if it go down to it and the young people are gambling, I could just be one of the guys that had to go through something to make sure people be aware, or athletes, or, people of my stature just be aware of, those type of things. But now being a father is most important to me. And, that really, hit home, just talking about being locked up. Like, one of the things that I pride myself on is never like going to jail, never putting myself in a position to where I feel like I could be in handcuffs or taking my freedom away. And, so that was the part that I think hurt the most.
Marcus's brother didn't hold back, calling out the way they publicly arrested him in front of his family. All over what he says was a blown-up situation. His agent says it plain and simple. This wasn't fraud. It was a casino that turned into a legal nightmare over just a few $1,000s. But beyond the courtrooms and casino markers, Marcus Morris is facing something far heavier: the weight of perception. In the eyes of the public, one headline can erase a decade of work, loyalty, and character. For a man who's built his identity on resilience, from North Philly to the NBA, this isn't just about legal strategy. It's about pride, legacy, and fatherhood. The silence after the news hits, the way people look at you differently, the way sponsors, fans, and even friends pause, that's the real sentence. And now, with every camera turned his way, Marcus isn't just defending his name in court. He's trying to reclaim who he is in the eyes of the world.